Evening all. So here we go. The Dread Pirate Pyrex. Coming soon to a series near you. We are actually going to do a series where I am going to do proper piracy. But anyway, look, we're just going to carry on with the combat practice to do piracy first. So this isn't proper piracy. This is just me learning the ropes. But as you can see, we've changed our configuration a bit more. Missiles, while bloody brilliant, were a little bit OP. I think I just used too many of them. You could possibly use them if what you did was actually run them independently. So you had 2 missile banks, or maybe even 1, and you just run them as a secondary fire alternative. I don't know, but what we're doing here is we're actually running our lasers as a secondary fire, then our multi-cannons, our massively stupidly overpowered multi-cannons, as our primary fire. So we're not gonna use them in the same vein, if that makes sense. We're going to use them a little bit more carefully, and that's kind of the thing, really. I mean, that's really where the game starts to become quite tactical. I think you have to kind of, oh, they buggered off. Oh well, never mind, we're not going to shoot them then. It can become quite a what's the word, it can become a bit of a tactics and a fitting discussion most of the time as well. For example, you could run, again, this was a post that somebody said to me, you could run 4 banks of missiles and just get the hell out when you've used them all, which would be in about the first 10 seconds of the fight. But the reality is that you're not, there's not much that's going to take or survive 4 banks of missiles firing at you, all spamming missiles as well. You know what I mean? It's like there's a huge tactical and fitting discussion to be had here. At the moment we're running the safe fits, which is you generally need something like a burst laser or a beam laser or a pulse laser, which doesn't run out of ammo, and then you need something which is a bit kind of armor driven. I wouldn't run all the same. I think if you're running 4 multi-cannons, you'll probably be alright, but I'd maybe run 2 multi-cannons and 2 cannons maybe. So cannons is something we haven't tried yet. I'm really looking forward to that. But at the moment what we're really doing is just trying to work out what a good combination mix is. So look at that, that's pretty deadly. That's a lot more effective there. The burst lasers are a bit like kind of special pulse lasers, and then the multi-cannons, I mean the Gatling guns are just ridiculous. Look at that, it's just shredding the guy. Now the range on them is pretty poor, so you do need to be quite close, but obviously there's always the risk of overshooting like I just did then. But to be honest, I would say that's a good fit right there. What I've got basically 2 gimbalized burst lasers. I don't know, I guess they're just multi-shot pulse lasers, and 2 the same multi-cannons. They're just literally the Gatling guns, and there we go. And look at that, the police come in, they saw me shooting a dude, and they're kind of like, oh hi, how you doing? And kind of carried on. I did like that. It was like they didn't see me as I walked around the corner and go kicking the ground, putting my hands in my pockets. Nothing to do with me, officer. Oh, I do like it. Now I think there's gonna be a massive kind of fun factor with this game of just exploring, and that's all we're doing here. We're just literally in a single system, and we're just rolling around. It's Aulin, or Aulin, or I don't know how you say it. It's a relatively high, well, it's a high security, high tech system, but every time you kind of warp around, you'll just find more and more anomalies to go to. So there's never going to be, like in Eve, the anomalies. I mean, Eve is a game that has almost hit capacity, yet it's hardly got anybody playing it, because they've only got like, one system will have 1 set of belts that people will just rat. And you just feel like you're constantly tripping over people in that game. Yet, ironically, not many people play it anymore, which is, again, bizarre. A bizarre conundrum. But in this game, you could have probably hundreds of people in a single system, and they would all be investigating these various things that they come across. Now, it also means, look at that. So that just popped up. That the computer has just generated that right there. It will be some form of event. It could be a pirate. It could be a security checkpoint. It could be cargo dropped. It could be anything. It could be a trader. It could be, this is the beauty of it, is you don't know what's out here. Now this is in civilized, populated space, populated space. What I'm really hoping is that as you get to the really border systems, so the really far out systems without a station there is also some of these things there as well, and maybe they're a bit harder. Maybe there's kind of an incentive to go off into deep space because there are better sites out there, or there's more money to be made, or there's just something out there that's not in these kind of corporate middle systems. I'm really hoping that's the case. I'm hoping also as well, the one thing they include in this game is the ability to scoop hydrogen fuel from suns. Every Elite game has had that since the year they came out, and that made you completely independent of stations ever again, as long as you didn't need ammo, as long as you didn't need repairs, as long as you didn't need this and that. And there was something quite impressive about the Acorn Archimedes version of the game, which probably none of you have ever played, but what was good about it was it did have the ability to completely disappear from the radar. You could, I mean, look at that. That was pretty effective, was it not? Anyway, you could completely disappear from the radar and go and live in deep space and skim off suns, and you just literally travel around and never really need to go to anywhere populated again. Every so often you go to a free port in an anarchy system, and that's how the life of the pirate begins, because you could go and prey on everybody. It didn't matter if they were pirates or you know, player alike. It didn't or good guy alike. It didn't matter, because the point of the game was that it gave you this, I guess, this canvas to which you can write your own story. And I think that's write your story on a canvas, paint your own picture, whatever. But you know what I mean? It's like completely kind of you know, player driven, and it's more so than any other game. And this has always been my frustration with, unfortunately, games like EVE Online, was I wanted to get into a ship, load up a ship, and bugger off into deep space where no one's been before, and just see what was there, knowing that there's sod all there, but planets and incredible views and, you know, incredible things to see. But I always wanted to do that. That to me has always been my dream, and this game is looking like it's going to give me that, because I can go and do whatever I want in this game, as long as the tools are there, as long as the capabilities there to allow me to do that. And I'm excited about this. This is going to be huge stuff. So we go, look, a Lacon Type 9, huge bloody thing. I'm not going to shoot it either, because, well, I don't really have the patience to kill that, to be honest. And plus, he's being polite. He's saying hello. He's a technology acquisition specialist, which is what they call officer managers now, I think, isn't it? But in essence, that's, you know, pretty cool, isn't it? Just some floating ship out there, and I just thought I'd say hi. I know it's an NPC. I know. I'm just wondering if he'll say hi back. You've got to test it, haven't you? You've got to try it. And there we go. I think this is really shaping up to be something incredible. I know a lot of people are still not playing this because they haven't obviously bought into it yet. I think, you know, I honestly don't think it's the end of the world if you just wait for it to be released and then pay your $30, $40, whatever it will be, and get the full game then. I honestly think that is not a bad idea either. At the moment, and not enough is complete. There still needs to be more to do in this game. And I think with 55 systems, I mean, I've got to admit, I've not seen them all yet. I've flown between a great number of them, because the footage after this, I lose everything. In the next video, you'll see I lose everything. But what I do is I actually go back to trading, and I go and see pretty much every star system then I can, and it starts to become a much more kind of bigger game. And I always thought I'd use my Cobra Mark III to travel the universe. And in the end, I use the hauler, because actually the best way to make the money is to explore with the hauler, look for the trade routes, and then use them. So, yeah, highly recommend the Type 6. It's bloody brilliant, it really is. You could be making between 80 and 120,000 credits per run, so definitely recommend that. Anyway, there we go. Hope you enjoyed that. We'll see you next time.